All right, we're going to continue with exercise 24, personal plaid. So we are actually practicing what we have learned last time, and we are going to use the same exact techniques to create our own personal plaid. So I want you guys to be creative and make your own colors. And so you're going to start with a custom size, and we are going to go to pixels and make sure you select the 24 pixel by 24 pixel page. Set your resolution to 72 pixels per inch. We also call this 72 ppi or pixels per inch. DPI is also the same thing, dots per inch. Okay, if you guys remember, this was a pretty tiny one, so we can go zoom that in a little bit. And we are going to select our colors and create our plaid. So for this one, I'm thinking about going a little more into the colors of 2022. If you guys remember, that was the color. And make sure you have 1 pixel here when you select pencil. And if you can't find pencil, it's under the brush tool. And you're only going to create a little bit of this, right? So I'm going to make this color to be the prominent color. I'm going to use a little bit of a greenish tone here, a lighter green. And I'll make a little black line. And I'll finish it up with the same color. So I'm gonna select this. Sorry, select this. This is our eyedropper tool. Select the purple here. And then go back to pencil. And do this. Okay, now that I have it, I'm going to go to my marquee tool. And I'm going to select this. Now I'm going to define this as a pattern. A couple of reminders: if you're trying to define something as a pattern, make sure your feathering is at 0. Define this as a pattern. So I'm going to call this my personal plaid. Okay, and now I'm going to select all, and I'm going to fill this with my pattern that I just defined. So this is the one. Now, when you select this, make sure your opacity is at 100%. I realized in some of the exercises that I've done, my opacity was at 50, so I lose some of my color when I did that. So just make sure that is not the case. So it should be 100%, and I say okay, and now we have our design. Now it's zoomed in a little too much, so if I zoom out a little bit, you'll see the pattern better. Now I'm going to duplicate this layer, and we don't have to do a plain view and a twill this time. You can do whichever one you like, but I'm going to say personal plaid here and say okay. And then I'm going to go to edit, transform, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, now we're going to create a layer mask. So when I do that, we have that extra space, and we're going to go fill that with our either plain view or twill. I already have them defined, but in case you can't find them, we can do that again. So you're just going to go to new, and you're going to select 4 pixels by 4 pixels for this one. It's going to be super tiny. So 4 pixels by 4 pixels means, you know, if you go back to your pencil is 1 pixel. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels here. So this is the smallest size you can do. And 4 pixel by 4 pixels gives you that square. Now I'm gonna go back and select black for my color. And I actually decided to do a twill, but this time I'm gonna do my twill the other way because I already have that other twill. And okay, I think this is good. Now I'm going to go ahead and select all and define the pattern. I'll say, we call this one right-hand twill. The other one was going the other way, so we'll call it right-hand twill. Okay, now we can go back to this. First, I'm going to play with the image size on this. So when you finish this, remember to do that. Or actually, hold on. Let's just fill our layer mask with our right-hand twill. You see the other twill was going in the other direction. So this is done. Now I'm going to go to my image size. My image is so small. It's 0.333 inches. In pixels, this is 24. I'm going to increase the size of it 4 times. So instead of 24, I'm going to do 96 pixels, 96 by 96. Okay, and make sure here you select nearest neighbor hard edges, because if you do not, your design will not be very sharp. So, okay, so we got this. Now we're going to define this as a pattern. So go ahead and select all, edit. You can't select it unless you're on the background layer. So I'll do that again. Define pattern. And this is going to be personal plaid right twill. Right hand twill is what I'm going to call this. Now I'm going to go to a print size, select 72, create, and then go and fill with this pattern. Okay, now this is my plaid pattern here. And I like this pattern. Now we're going to create 3 different colorways. So let's create another layer. First, select the marquee, get a sample. This is good. Okay, we're going to copy this. Go to your layer, paste it. You can see it right now. Now, while this is selected, you can go to that. Now we're going to make some changes on the image. Let's do auto color. Okay, this is a completely different one, so we can do that. Now I'm going to create another layer. Copy this. Paste. Now on this one, we can go to adjustments. I'll do channel mixer on this. Okay, this is a cool one. Let's keep this. Of course, our original is right here. So let's do this. Okay, now we already have one more layer. So I'm gonna copy this, paste. It actually creates automatically a new layer, so I'm gonna delete that. So on this one, we can go adjustments, hue and saturation. And let's select the yellows and change all the yellows to a different color. Maybe maybe that color. Okay. Okay, so we have our colors. Now I'm going to write a text here that this is our personal plaid. I'm going to select this color. Okay, so we have 3 different ones. Now I'm going to save this. This is going to be exercise 24. Some plaid.